You can see the life you want, vividly. The work you'd make, the freedom, the version of you who finally has it together. The member. And that picture, the one that feels so good, is quietly the reason you haven't moved. Not your laziness, not some missing gene for discipline. The daydream itself. Stay with me. Because once you see how this actually works, you can't unsee it. You know the feeling. A new idea hits, and for an hour you're electric. You can see the whole thing. You plan it, you picture launching it, you imagine people loving it. And then, nothing. The document stays empty. Monday becomes next Monday. Next Monday becomes someday. You've got a graveyard of these brilliant ideas you were completely sure about that never made it past the picturing stage. Maybe it's the business you've started 4 times, the logo, the name, the plan, and then silence. Maybe it's the body you can describe in perfect detail but have never trained for. Or the book that already exists, fully, as a feeling in your chest and nowhere else. Same shape every time. Enormous energy at the idea. Total silence at the doing. Here's the uncomfortable part. You're not stuck because you don't care. You're stuck because, in a strange way, you already collected the reward. Let me show you what's happening inside your head. Because it's not a character flaw. It's a mechanism. And mechanisms can be worked with. Start with a lemon. Picture biting into one. The yellow skin, the sour juice. If you really pictured it, your mouth just watered. You flinched a little. Roman brought that wand of your lace filwary. You didn't touch a lemon. The image alone moved your body. That's how blurry the line is between imagining something and living it. Now point that same power at success. Picture the finish line. The praise. The relief of finally being the person you keep promising to become. Your brain hands you a little hit of that good feeling right now. On the spot. For free. And that is exactly the problem. Psychologist Gabriele Oettingen spent years studying this and found something almost cruel. The more vividly people fantasize about reaching a goal, the less energy they have to actually chase it. The daydream isn't fuel. It's a spender. It quietly pays out the reward you were supposed to earn by doing the work. So your brain, already satisfied, sees no reason to get up. Jelly does work be showing on time gray rant. That's the trap. The people who imagine success the hardest are often the ones who move the least. Not despite the fantasy. Because of it. There's a second layer to this, and it's chemical. The reward chemistry in your brain. Dopamine might fire hardest, usually doesn't fire performant outbeat, and there's chemamine. In the reward chemistry is in your brain T. Dopamine doesn't fire hardest when you win. It fires hardest in anticipation, in the wanting, in the vivid picture of the thing you're about to get, which means the planning stage is where the high actually lives. Opening a fresh notebook, buying the course, sketching the perfect plan for Monday. It feels incredible because anticipation is the part your brain pays out for. The doing, the unglamorous middle, has no hit in it. Just friction. So you drift back to the part that feels good. Planning, imagining, restarting. And you mistake that loop for progress. If that were the whole story, you'd just stop daydreaming and be fixed. It's not. There are 2 more forces pinning you down, and the second one is trying to protect you. The first is timing. Your brain wildly overvalues right now and heavily discounts later. Look at the actual trade you're being offered. The effort is real and immediate. Boring, hard, uncomfortable this very second. The payoff is far away and fuzzy. So every time you choose, it's a rigged fight. Certain discomfort now, against a vague reward someday. Comfort wins. Not because you're weak, because the maths in your head is bent toward the present. That's why I'll start tomorrow feels so good. Tomorrow you gets handed the effort. Today, you keeps the comfort. And tomorrow, you run the exact same trade again. And it compounds. Every time you pick comfort now, you're not just losing a day. You're teaching your brain what you do the moment it's time to start. You retreat. The pattern gets a little deeper, a little more automatic, until the freeze stops being a decision and becomes a reflex. Now the quiet one. The force nobody wants to admit. Sometimes you don't act because not acting protects you. As long as you never fully try, you never fully fail. The idea in your head stays perfect. Your potential stays shiny and untouched. I could have, if I'd really gone for it. Actually starting risks proof that you might be ordinary. So lazy becomes a shield. It hurts less to be the talented person who didn't try than the person who tried with everything and still came up short. Read that one twice because it usually stays invisible. Your procrastination might be defending your self-image, not sabotaging it. So here's what actually moves the needle. And notice, none of it is just want it more. First, stop feeding the fantasy. The research points the other way. Picture the goal, yes? Then immediately picture the obstacle in front of it. The real one, the tiredness, the fear, the boring middle. It sounds like a downer. It works because it drags a daydream down into a plan. Fantasy plus obstacle equals a next step. Fantasy alone equals a nap. Make it concrete. Say you want to run in the morning. Don't just picture the runner you'll become. Picture the alarm at 6, the cold floor, the warm bed pulling you back down, and decide right now exactly what you'll do the second that pull hits. Shoes by the door, clothes already laid out. The decision made before the resistance arrives. That's the whole move. You plan for the obstacle, not the fantasy. So you meet the friction with a choice you made while you were still thinking clearly. Second, shrink the first move until it's almost embarrassing. Not write the book. Open the document and write one ugly sentence. The reward is too far away to move you. So stop relying on the reward. Make the effort so small there's nothing left to resist. You're not trying to feel motivated. You're trying to start before your brain notices. Third, cut your identity loose from the result. You are not your idea. A failed attempt is not a verdict on your worth. It's information. The moment failing stops meaning, I'm not enough. The shield you were hiding behind has nothing left to protect. And you're free to just try. Here's why that matters more than it sounds. The people who keep going aren't fearless. They've just quietly agreed with themselves that failing is survivable. That one bad attempt doesn't erase them. Once failure is survivable, starting gets easy. There's nothing left to guard. Here's the reframe that ties it together. The daydream felt like progress. It felt like momentum. It was neither. It was the reward, collected early on credit you hadn't earned. Real progress feels almost disappointing next to it. Small. Quiet. One ugly sentence. One rep. One unglamorous step you could barely be bothered to take. Because the people already living the life you picture, they're not more gifted than you. They're not walking around more motivated than you. They just stopped paying their drive to their imagination and spent it on the boring, beautiful work instead. You already know you're capable. That was never the question. The only real question is whether you'll trade the perfect picture in your head for the messy first move in the real world. Close the daydream, write the sentence,